Hello, my fellow nerds, and welcome to the Nerd Empire. I hope you all are having a fantastic day today, and I hope you all will enjoy today's reaction video. With that being said, let's get right into it, shall we? Alright, this next one is called "The Left is Losing Black and LGBT Voters Fast." The left is losing a lot because they have collectively lost their ever-loving minds. So, let's see what this video has to say.
Look who's actually showing up now versus who's leaving. As a lesbian who did this myself, left the left back in 2019, I can tell you exactly why this is happening. Welcome to another psychological deep dive. Black and LGBT people used to be the easy ticket grab for Democrats and progressive politicians back in the day. Now, in 2025, we are seeing more of them running for their lives. Here's why this is all happening now. Number one, they are realizing that not only is it no longer making sense,
I've seen a lot of these people. It's just, I don't know what has gone wrong with them. But they seem to just have collectively gone absolutely fucking nuts. It's just that anything and anyone and anything in the entire world that disagrees with their viewpoint seems to be Nazis, racists, sexists, misogynists, narcissists, just a supremacist or whatever, ists or isms there is. It's just, they can't take any criticism. They can't take anybody giving a civilized argument against them or civil discourse. It's just, it's either what they believe is right and everyone else is wrong, or you're going to get screamed at. Or you're going to get the full Karen attack, which is just, it's... Your state is Missouri, right? Or no, mine's Minnesota. Minnesota. But it's just these people have. You can't talk to these people. It's like trying to talk to a brick wall that's stained with shit.
No, I have a black friend.
but it is not cool. I mean, unless you think this is cool. For the better part of the last 20 years, LGBT people and black people have been major trendsetters in Western culture. Hip-hop soared, gay marriage was legalized. Everyone knows how cool gay parties used to be. The outcasts became the cool kids. The only problem with that was that part of being the outcasts was, you know, going against the grain, right? Not having the government up your ass, not having...
I don't know. They try to share a brain cell, but that brain cell is out to lunch indefinitely.
Every single mainstream media lie on your behalf, protesting for some bullshit that doesn't even make sense just because it's on their side of the aisle. Something was off for quite some time. And being the outcast certainly didn't look like almost every single person at the No Kings protests this past weekend. Hundreds of accounts on X, Facebook, and TikTok kept pointing out that around like 95% of these people were old and white. Over and over and over again, we keep seeing these videos posted. Literally video after video proving these X posts to be true. Now, I don't know if these people are like retired and they need a little bit of extra money and they're getting funded to protest by George Soros or something like that, or if they're just simply sitting in their nursing homes being glued to CNN.
You sure it isn't trying to run a Special Olympics race and aiming for last place? Yeah, that's kind of the mental state with a lot of these people nowadays. And it's just... I don't get why how these people can live like this. It seems like it's so fucking stressful. It's like, why do you want to live like this?
Or if they're hippies trying to like relive the 60s. Whatever the reason is, we are not the only people, Americans are not the only people that realize this.
I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with these No Kings protests, mate. One thing I've noticed is these people are all old.
It is almost exclusively all old white people.
I've never
It's just the senior citizens decided to get together and do some shit.
seen this many old white women in one place, reliving the old hip.
Have you heard about what is happening in New York City? No, I have no idea what's happening in any state. I barely even know what's going on in my own state.
Days, mate. But this time they're protesting some kind of mythical king that doesn't exist. Look at these ones. Looks like they just got resurrected. Probably smells like mothballs and soap. Are these the heroes that are going to topple the government tyranny?
Literal survivors of Mao's communist revolution have also taken note. Z Van Fleet posted, just came back from the No Kings rally in DC. Here are my observations. It's true, I did not see a king. The crowd was not that big and street parking was not hard to find. Majority of these people are white. There are too many older people, 60s radicals, I guess, which is what I said. There were so many costumes, it seemed like a Halloween party.
I don't think the skin color really matters. I just think all these people need some sort of therapy.
Somebody also mentioned the fact that in New Haven, Connecticut, about 30% of the population is black. And there were very, very few black people at these events. Same situation in Atlanta where 50% of the population there is black. Almost no black people to be found though. Because you and I know the truth is black people have been walking away from the Democratic Party for the past 6-7 years or so. Look at this study from Pew Research. Trump won 2024 with a voter coalition that was more racially and ethnically diverse than 2020 or 2016. Trump won 15% of black voters, up from 8% 4 years earlier. Funnily enough, these people built their entire brand on representation, and now the people that they're claiming to represent don't even want them. And this goes for LGBT people as well. You and I know that it's not the right converting people, it's not Trump supporters, it's not people converting to the Trump religion. It is the left pushing them away. A ton of people are realizing
A lot of these people nowadays are trying to go for specific groups of people instead of trying to make things better for people collectively as a whole. Stop trying to appease certain groups of people and try to make things better for certain groups of people. Just try to make things better for the entirety of the people as a whole. Because if you're going for certain people, you're excluding the others. And all you're doing is just creating more and more problems. Just try and make try and make things better for everybody. Or for the majority at least.
That black people and LGBT people's votes were taken for granted for years. People have been waking up little by little. And again, not just the fact that a lot of what the Democratic or Progressive Party was spewing wasn't making any sense, but again, it's also no longer...
Stand up against fascism. This lady can barely stand up at all. Dear God. Lady, put down the Cheetos and Mountain Dew and go for a walk once in a while. Jesus Christ.
Cool. I mean, imagine running through the streets and posting a black square on your Instagram saying Black Lives Matter, burning up cities while not focusing on the black on black crime and welfare state that the Democrats love to keep black people in. What about them saying that they are the loving and tolerant side of the political aisle, yet they kick people out of pride events because they voted for Trump? Hi, that was me back in April. I mean, if you start f***ing with the women and the children, most people in society, in insane society, aren't going to be okay with that. Focusing on the transing of the kids while the absolute state of the economy was trash.
I could not fat acceptance is dying off, both metaphorically and literally. Yeah, fat acceptance needed to die the moment it was thought of. Trans kids, God, that idea needed to fucking die as soon as it was conceptualized. Any doctor who thought that they should go ahead with helping trans kids transition should probably have lost their fucking license.
Turns out people care more about sanity and safety than slogans. Number two, they're seeing that overall, this made the country worse. Absolute demons wearing shirts that say, make assassination.
Politicians don't die like they used to. Make assassinations great again. Jesus Christ, what is wrong with these people? What does that thing say? Silence is compliance? These are the type of people we're letting vote. I'm sorry. I think you should have some sort of like a degree of mental competence and morality, and you should be living in reality and have some level of logical thinking to be allowed to vote. Because having these type of people given the ability to vote doesn't make anything good. It doesn't improve society in any way. We need to have a sanity check test for all American citizens. Yeah, we really do.
Great again, and having booths that said Charlie Kirk had it coming. Like, who would want to be part of this devil shit unless you're like...
I'm sorry, but if you thought it was good that Charlie Kirk was assassinated, you need to fuck all the way off. Anybody who thought that was a good thing that he got assassinated and cheered for it and advocated for it and whatever, I want nothing to do with those type of people. They need to fuck all the way off.
Demon yourself. More and more people are coming out on TikTok, and
division is the new slavery. Dear white people, can we be family?
and other sites wanting to put an end to the division. They're seeing that this hate is almost 100% media induced.
I think a lot of the government, the way they go about things, they're trying to keep a lot of people divided, which I don't see the point in doing that. You're just making society and everything worse to keep people divided. We as a society need to come together and compromise on shit. Because nobody, besides what Charlie Kirk was trying to do, which was he was trying to have civil discourse, you know, to actually be civil and have discussions and everything. We need to have that in everything, and we need to find a middle ground where we can all come together and say, yes, this is what we want, this is what we can do, this is how we can improve. And yet we have a government and a society that just keeps keeping us divided instead of coming together. I felt my blood run cold when I saw the uncensored video of Charlie. Yeah, I was honestly surprised he was able to survive long enough to make it to the hospital and live a couple, 1 or 2 minutes after making it to the hospital before he finally died. Considering how much blood was pouring from his neck, it was amazing he was able to survive that long. I mean, the willpower you have to survive that long and with that much blood coming out of you, you know, that is quite amazing. Sad that he couldn't make it, but amazing he was able to live that long after that, losing that much blood.
One of my new favorite follows who has been making the rounds, showing up at these types of events and showcasing the way the left has been treating her, and specifically making a really important point to tell people to stop living on the plantation, meaning stop letting Democrats control you and keep you down.
Don't be mad, her president won.
Get off the plantation! White people don't come off the plantation! Get off the plantation! You be out there right now, come you there with me. You ain't that reason. Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
Listen.
I think a lot of people put too much of their identity and beliefs in politicians who don't really care for them. I think both sides are fucking corrupt, and the only thing they truly care about is lining their own pockets and making sure that life is better for themselves rather than the people as a whole. And I've been saying this even about businesses. If you take care of the people, that in turn will make things better for you. It's the same thing with business. If you take care of the people that are, working for you, that in turn will make things better for you. You'll make more money. The business will thrive, all that stuff. But they don't seem to understand that doing that will make things better for them. They just only see what they can do for themselves and fuck everyone else below them. Make things better for the people that you are supposed to be taking care of. And in turn, things will get better for you. You have to think in the long term. People keep thinking in the short term. You have to think long term, people. That's how this thing goes. That's how shit gets better.
To this woman who recently woke up.
9 months. And I'm seeing videos from Chicago, DC, where people are like, yo, I feel safe. My kids feel safe. This is the best thing he ever did for us. So what was happening all these years that this shit, like literally I've known DC and Virginia to have this type of shit going my whole life. And I'm in my 40s, okay? Almost touching it. So what was really truly going on? If a motherfucker became president 9 months ago and cleared that shit out with just a flick of the pen, I'm just thinking, like, did y'all really ever care?
She's asking the right question. Because these areas are controlled by Democrats. But the best way to understand people is to pay attention to their incentive structures. Democrats are not incentivized for Black Americans to do better. If you think about the Democrats' platform, it's about making everybody a victim. If you're Black, the system's racist and it's against you, and we are the people who are going to fix that problem for you. Those Republicans, they're racist. If you're gay, they don't like you because you're gay. If you're a woman, they don't like you because you're a woman. If you're an immigrant, they don't like you because you're an immigrant. And again, back to Black people, the reason you're struggling is because of history, racism, and the system. It's not your decision making. It's not you making poor decisions. But here's the thing. If they can keep you focused on everything except accountability and your own personal agency, that makes you a perpetual voter for Democrats.
I mean, the mayor of DC even recently thanked Trump for cleaning up her city.
But for carjackings, the difference between this period, this 20-day period of this federal surge and last year represents a 87% reduction in carjackings in Washington, D.C.
Remember Karine Jean-Pierre, the Black lesbian DEI hire ex-press secretary? Even she is leaving the Democrats.
Hi, I'm Karine Jean-Pierre, and I am the author of a new book that's coming out this fall called Independent. It's coming out on October 21st, so please do grab it.
The Florida Democratic Party is experiencing turmoil after state minority leader Jason Pizzo announced his departure, declaring the party dead. Remember, the normal gays, like myself, have been awake for quite some time now. People are just kind of changing the station, tuning into us now. This lesbian nails it.
Why I am no longer on the left, even as a lesbian. What I have observed is that the community pretends to fight for inclusivity, diversity, and freedom. But I've seen with my very own eyes for years now that realistically they fight for one-way thinking, the demonization of specific groups that are other than them, and the cancelization of freedom of speech. They say they care about human life and people who are victims of war, but advocate for the killing of the most vulnerable type of human life form in existence. They fight against the legalization of guns, but cheer when guns are used to assassinate a man who simply had a different opinion.
Intolerant and not inclusive. I've been thrown out of a gay club 3 times for supporting President Trump because they don't agree with me, because they're intolerant. Yeah, the gay community that wants respect, that wants people to accept them and embrace them. But they don't embrace me. They don't embrace me.
And to those who are awake and haven't yet gotten
The dude
balls
looks a bit
to
crazy,
come out
by
with
the
it,
way.
I want you to listen to what my friend Becky has to say.
All right, listen up, Buttercup. If you ever find yourself nervous, like you're nervous for backlash if you speak about your thoughts and your opinions, your values, your beliefs, your morals, what you think is right and wrong for this country, if you're nervous about the backlash, like this is where it's...
The dude has a fucking pee stain. I could never go out in public in just tighty whities. I need pants. I would never even have my windows open without pants and a shirt on. I don't like people seeing me without a shirt or pants. I don't have the body to show off for that.
coming from. Like, that's the guy in your comments telling you that you're stupid. It's the parents of this child who's
I wouldn't ever do that either. It's embarrassing. Yeah.
stabbing an effigy of Donald Trump. They're the ones in your comments telling you that...
I'm sorry. If you're teaching your kid to do this, you immediately fail as a parent. You have failed your child as a parent who is supposed to you're supposed to raise your kid to know respect, to know morals, to have a conscience, and you're teaching your kid to do shit like this, you have failed your child as a parent. Even if you're supposed to raise your kid, you're supposed to teach them that even if you don't like the person or you don't agree with them, you shouldn't resort to violence or stupid shit like this. You have failed your child. And if you disagree with me, I'm sorry, but you have failed as a person.
You're the problem, okay? That's where it's coming from. It's Miss Crazy Eyes right here telling you that you're insane. It's this group of adults cheering as a little girl beats an effigy of Donald Trump. They're the ones telling you that you're the issue. It's people who say stuff like this.
Jeffree Star is also one of the more recent gays to come out as leaning more conservative.
Charlie Kirk was just like, what is going on, dude? For speaking the truth, that's what happened? Are you fucking kidding me right now? If you watch me daily, we don't really get political in this room. We're all about positivity, makeup, sarcasm, jokes, trolling. This is a grown man who fought for the truth, who went all around our country debating people of all walks of life, walks of religion, walks of sexuality. He debated everybody. And if you're in here saying it wasn't the truth, you are a they-them loser. You are one of those people who doesn't want to live in reality.
Number 3, almost nobody on the left even knows what they actually stand for. I mean, think about it. You're protesting no kings, but love a good Nancy Pelosi, who has been serving for 38 plus years.
This is another thing. You shouldn't be able to. You shouldn't be able to be in a politician or in government for more than, I'd say, 10 to 15 years, maximum. I would say maximum 15 years, but 10 to 15 years. As soon as you're past that, you have to retire from it and go find something else to do. You can't. No. This sort of stuff was never meant to be a career thing. It was meant to have just your everyday citizens going into this, serving their time, and then going back to whatever job that they were doing as a regular citizen. That's how it was supposed to be, even with the presidency. Like Donald Trump is a good example of that. Somebody who was in business decided to go run for president, and then once he's done with that, he would go back to being a businessman. That is how the system was supposed to work for presidency and for government officials. Why not have all politicians have the same term span as the president? That works too. It was never meant to be a career thing. Because the way it's supposed to be is supposed to be of the people, by the people, for the people. Now it's basically of the rich, by the rich, for the rich. Fuck everyone else.
Keep in mind, she's made over like $200 million while in office. Benny Johnson said, the average reign for an English king is 18 years. Nancy Pelosi has been reigning in her office for nearly 40. Yet, Nancy Pelosi posted a video attacking Trump for being a king. Trump has been in office for 4.5 years. Pelosi has been in office for 38. Trump is term limited. Pelosi is thinking about running again in 2026, and she's also 83, 84 years old or something like that. Nancy Pelosi's No Kings video might be the biggest self.
Let's see. Trump's lost billions in office. Pelosi's made $300 million in insider trading. Trump is that first person in his family to run for office. Pelosi is a Nepo baby who inherited everything from her rich, powerful, connected Democrat daddy. Nancy Pelosi's No Kings video might be the biggest self-own of the year. It is one of the biggest points of hypocrisy you could ever have. And I'm sorry, the only way they should be able to make money is through their yearly salary. That's it. They shouldn't be able to make any money besides their own besides their own salary. Sorry, it slipped my mind of the fucking word. And the amount of money they should be able to make is the year, like their yearly income is like, I think $175,000-$200,000 a year. Their income should match the median income of the state they represent. So if the state they represent, if their median income is like $50,000, their salary should be $50,000 a year. And if they want to increase their salary, they have to increase the median income of the state they represent. She called the younger generation stupid and in an interview said everyone needs to be more woke. Fuck that. Being woke is what is destroying society. What people need to be is realistic and logical. That's the way people need to be. Being more woke is living in your own fucking fantasy world, thinking that's how the real world should be.
Of the year. Also, the amount of people that can't name like one single way, just one single.
Like there's a TikTok video that I have liked in my likes that actually would fit this very well. I need to grab it real quick. My thing is freaking slow. Where is it? It's loading so slowly. Here it is.
All right, you want to know?
All right. Like this is how I agree with what this video says.
What laws are needed to save America? Here you go. Rule number 1, any elected official upon inauguration has to completely liquidate any investiture they have in publicly traded company. This one should be a no-brainer. If you're going into government, you should not be allowed to have any prior investment in companies that could use that investment to influence the policies that you pass, and you should not be allowed to trade in stock when you yourself can control factors that influence the price of that stock.
Yeah, these politicians have way too much power over how much money they can make and how much they can bring in. It is fucking ridiculous.
Number 2, reclassify any form of non-citizen-led lobbying as bribery, make it a federal offense, and imprison anyone who tries to pay off a politician. It's quite simple. No matter what bullshit Citizens United tries to say, corporations are not people and they are not allowed a voice in the political process that is equal to the rest of the actual civilian population.
Yeah, a lot of these companies have way too much pull and power and, just financial gain, and they have way too much say in a lot of the shit that goes on that only benefits the corporation they represent and doesn't benefit the civilian population as a whole. We need to do things that benefit the civilian population as a whole, despite if it benefits the corporations or not. You need to take care of the civilian population. Like I've said before, if you take care of the civilian population, things will get better for everyone else as a whole, because people will be a lot more happier. When people try to modernize something that works perfectly fine with traditional values, you get a mess like what we have. Yes.
Rule number 3, publicly elected officials are no longer allowed to have a say in whether or not they raise their own salaries. And in fact, any salary raise for a public office has to be voted on by the citizens who elected that official. And currently, no vote on raising salaries can be held in the chamber of government whose salaries would be raised. This one should be a no-brainer. The people who elected you should be the only ones allowed to raise your salary because they are your boss, not you. Which means they...
Yes. We are the ones that have elected you into office. We are the ones who decide whether you are doing a good job or not. And if we decide that you have not done a good job and we have not elected and you are not doing what we have elected you to do, we should have the right to vote you out of the position you are holding and say that you are no longer allowed in that position because you are not doing the job we have voted you in to do. You are not taking care of us. You're not doing your fucking job. And nobody but the citizens who voted you in should decide whether or not you have a fucking raise.
They are the only ones who get to decide if you are doing a good job in your political office. Number 4, reclassify any attempt by any elected official to misallocate funds from social programs like Medicare or the VA as embezzlement. Make it a federal crime, imprisoned with a life sentence.
Yeah, there are too many times where they have dipped into like Social Security or a lot of other funds that have supposed to go back to the people who are paying into it, just so they can, use the funds for stupid shit that they decide to pay for or stupid things that they want. No, the Social Security and stuff like that should never be touched or even thought about being touched. That stuff should go into Social Security, never be touched, and go back out to the people who have been paying into it for decades. When they retire, it only goes back to the people who have been paying into it. You should never be allowed to fucking touch it. Because of these politicians who seem to keep wanting to touch it, a lot of people in my generation or generations after are probably not even going to be able to see barely any of it.
Number 5, any increase on police funding has to be matched with a 3 times higher increase on public education and utilities funding. Police, who only exist to punish crimes and not prevent them, should not be allowed to have anywhere near the same funding as elements of society which exist for the basic necessities of life and civilization, such as education. Rule number 6, any attempt to defund or dismantle government...
The ridiculous amount of taxes need... Yes, that there is entirely way too many fucking taxes. The citizens as a whole are being taxed to absolute fucking death because of the amount of different types of taxes we have. A lot of people are not able to afford this shit for just basic living. Pretty much anything and everything is taxed. Almost anything and everything. And even our paychecks are almost like 60-70% of it is fucking taxed. We don't get the entirety of the amount that we fucking work for.
Environmental regulation agencies such as the EPA, the Department of the Interior, Department of Natural Resources, Department of Education, CDC, you get the idea, is to be considered corruption, a federal offense punishable by a life sentence that is not negotiable as elements of society which exist for the basic necessities of life and civilization, such as education. Rule number 6, any attempt to defund or dismantle governmental regulation agencies such as the EPA, the Department of the Interior, Department of Natural Resources, Department of Education, CDC.
The thing, I kind of disagree with the Department of Education. I think we need to get rid of that because it has not done anything good for society. The education should not be left up to the federal government. It should be left up to the state. The education, I've seen there's another TikTok video that I have that has shown like, I'm gonna have to look for that too. God damn it. This is another one I have it liked because I thought it looked so fucking ridiculous that it was. I thought it was just so fucking stupid. It showed how much they decreased the like the percentage amount you need for like an A, B, C, or D. And that the Department of Education has just fucked it so much that they have lowered the bar of education for everybody because no kid left behind. Look, as nice as that sounds, you can't lower the bar for everyone just to increase your numbers. That's just making everything worse as a whole. Where is it? I have it somewhere. Here we go.
Y'all telling me y'all not scared about the future. We are literally watching.
All right. Here. Look at this. An F is 0 to 24%. Is what they show on this. A D, 24 to 44%. C, 44 to 64. B, 64 to 84. A, 84 to 100. They have lowered the fucking bar. See, now when I was in school, to get an F was 50% and below. Request by all memes that please you allow the skill to throw shit at you again. Somehow, motherfuckers, Twitch doesn't count me as people. I can't put the throw system back on because for some reason it's not registering, and I've tried re-downloading and everything. So until it gets an update to fix its fucking self, I'm not going to be able to put it back on. I'll check every single time to make sure, to see if it'll work, but it doesn't seem to want to connect to VTube Studio for me. Well, it's from. See, it used to be 0 to 50% was an F. 51 to 60% was a D. 61 to 70 was a C. 71 to... Oh, no. No, I think I'm wrong. I think it was 0 to 59% was an F. Yeah. 0 to 59 F, 60 to 69 D, 70 to 79 C, 80, 89 B, 90 to 100 A. That's how it was when I was in school. But they have lowered the bar so fucking far. The Department of Education has lowered the bar so fucking much that people barely have to try to pass. They should never lower the bar. I'm sorry, but there are some people who don't work hard enough that they need consequences. This is criminal.
Get the idea, is to be considered corruption, a federal offense punishable by a life sentence that is not negotiable, and you are not allowed parole or bail when charged on it. A lot of these rules simply come down to scaring the shit out of any politician who even thinks about dismantling the things that make a government work for their own personal wealth. Rule number 7, any attempt to ban books is to be considered an attack on the First Amendment, a federal offense tantamount to treason. Obviously, this would not affect current common sense standards on media regulations, such as you can't put American Psycho in an elementary school library. Basically, the only media regulation on where books and different types of art are allowed would be subject to the same ruling as Ginsburg versus the state of New York. Anyone trying to go further than that would be found guilty of trying to attack the First Amendment. Rule number 8, make it a federal law that police unions can only operate on a local basis and they're not allowed to share resources with each other. So if a cop gets very publicly caught doing something extremely illegal in the public eye, he does not have access to a nationwide web of resources to try and get him out of paying for the crime that he committed. While we're at it, do away with qualified immunity, because that is asking for jackboots to start goose-stepping down our streets. Say it with me, kids, the reason none of these laws will ever get passed is because they interfere with the ruling class and the wealthy class's ability to rule you. This is also the reason why no politician who openly campaigns on these platforms will ever get elected, because the machine of the wealthy and the powerful is such that they do not want even a single one of those people to gain that kind of influence. Anyway, vote Cactus in 2028 for Supreme Leader. I can't guarantee I'll make things better, but I'll sure as shit make them funnier.
But yeah, I think a lot of those rules would actually fix a lot of problems. But like you said, they're never going to pass because, you know, the ruling class and the wealthy won't pass them because they'll interfere with their ability to rule over the masses, and will negate their ability to keep themselves in power and keep their pockets lined with money.
Trump is a king or king-like is insane.
You're at the No Kings protest today. I was wondering how President Trump has put your freedom in jeopardy.
I wouldn't say my freedom's in jeopardy.
So whose freedom's in? Why are you out here at the No Kings protest? I guess I was wondering, what has President Trump done to put your freedom in danger?
We have something to come to this.
I think
See, the funny thing is, a lot of these people are just bandwagon jumpers. They just jump on a bandwagon because it's the popular thing to do without doing any of the research themselves to find out what's going on and if they believe in it, if they're behind it. They just jump on the bandwagon because it's the popular thing to do and everyone else is doing it. And these people are fucking stupid. If you're going to join a protest, make sure you do the research of what the protest is and why they're protesting.
We're out here at the No Kings protest, and we're asking all the important questions.
Such as, if Trump was elected, how exactly is he a king?
He's not. He's not. It's there has been no kings for God knows how many years. The presidency is an elected official. He is not a king. He is not an all-powerful person in control of everyone. He's not a dictator. He is an elected official. That is it.
Because he is trying to take control of everything. Like, his checks and balances are not...
She's trying so hard to think of the shit. There's another video that goes along with... I have so many freaking different kind of videos that go with this shit. It's hilarious. All right, I think this is it.
Our sentences with thing you want.
Simon, which door do I leave from?
At Harvard, we don't end our sentences with prepositions.
Well, in that case, which door do I leave from, asshole?
What democratic eloquence.
You asked the question, sir. Let me answer it. The genius of the Constitution is that it can always be changed. The genius of the Constitution is that it makes no permanent rule other than its faith in the wisdom of ordinary people to govern themselves.
Faith in the wisdom of the people is exactly what makes the Constitution incomplete and crude.
Crude? No, sir. Our founding parents were pompous, middle-aged white farmers, but they were also great men, because they knew one thing that all great men should know, that they didn't know everything. They knew they were going to make mistakes, but they made sure to leave a way to correct them. They didn't think of themselves as leaders. They wanted a government of citizens, not royalty. A government of listeners, not lecturers. A government that could change, not stand still. The president isn't an elected king, no matter how many bombs he can drop, because the crude Constitution doesn't trust him. He's a servant of the people. He's a bum. Okay, Mr. Pitcairn? He's just a bum. And the only bliss that he's searching for is freedom and justice.
Yeah. He's not an elected king. As the guy said, he's just a bum. He's an elected official. And these people seem to think that he's a king, a dictator that can do whatever he wants with no consequence or no backlash. And the Constitution makes sure that he cannot do that. He doesn't have the power to do whatever he wants, despite what the people think. He's an elected official. His decisions come with real consequences, and he's not all powerful. He's not a king. That's not how our presidency works. The presidency is an elected official, and it will always be an elected official. And despite what people think, Trump is not going to go for a third term. The Constitution does not allow him to do so. No matter what he does, unless they change it to what to make sure he can, he's not going to be able to. And I can probably guarantee you that they're not going to make it so he can run for a third term. They're not going to make it so he can run for presidency until he dies. This is going to be his last term, and after this, it's going to be a new president. So, people need to learn this shit.
So he is just trying to completely disregard the Constitution.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of amendments have been kind of overcome, like in a way that they're not supposed to be.
I would say that it's because even though he was elected, I agree, due process, he got what he got elected fairly, sure, but he's doing things that make him a king. Like he's taking away, civil rights.
That's a great question. I don't particularly think.
After a president who ran for 4 terms, Congress passed a bill for every president afterward can only run for 2 terms. I don't know which president that would be.
He's a king. It's how people are viewing him as.
And this is in different parts of the country, by the way. I remember back in 2018, a friend of mine came up to me and asked me why I hate Trump. And I honestly couldn't give an actual answer as to why. And that was the beginning of my waking up. Why did I hate somebody but not know why I hated them? That was the moment that I realized I was being brainwashed. I didn't know where it was coming from, but I knew it was happening. And remember, there were a lot of ways people are brainwashed. I made a video about it, I think maybe a year or 2 ago. And all 6 of these points mentioned are constantly used by progressive and Democrat politicians and media outlets. Number 1, the us versus them mentality. Number 2, group defensiveness. Number 3, a common group enemy. Notice how none of these people are actually ever in defense of their own policies. They're just anti whatever Trump does. Number 4, self-protective language. Number 5, group isolation. If you even think about being friends with a Trump supporter, if you even think about talking to a Trump supporter like this girl did back in June. She was talking to me at Pride and started crying because I was going to post the video, which isn't, you don't even agree with me, you're just afraid to be seen with me. That's group isolation. That's insane. And number 6, mental weakness. I mean, that's a given. People are waking up. They are seeing who is actually helpful and who gives a shit versus who is just performative and controlling. And at the moment, it happens to be a ton of minorities, which is great. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Give it a big thumbs up. If you are new here, make sure to subscribe. I post videos twice a week covering controversial topics that a lot of YouTubers are afraid to. Other than that, I will see you guys back here in a few days with a brand new video. Until then, I love you, love yourselves. Keep calling out the bullshit.
It's funny, I had some videos that correlated with this. But yeah, Democrats are going fucking nuts and our government has gone insane. Well, that is the end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give a like and subscribe. I post videos 3 to 5 days a week here. I also post videos over on my other channel for gaming as well, so please make sure to give that a look-see, see if you enjoy that as well. I also stream anywhere from 3 to 5 days a week as well. Links to all my social medias will be on my YouTube page. And with that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.